As everybody already knows in the story of Jujutsu Kaisen, Sukuna is easily one of the strongest people in the series right now, and he has been for probably the past 1,000 years, just one of the strongest beings in existence, and this is for good reason. Sukuna has basically told us on many different occasions exactly why he's attained the amount of strength that he has in the series, and he's told a bunch of different characters how they could also do the same thing, and that is what I wanted to talk about in this video today. I wanted to talk about the fact that Sukuna is right on his ideology of strength inside of the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, and we've definitely seen a couple different examples of this throughout the series. Before we jump right into the video though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed anything you see here today. I make a bunch of different videos on a bunch of different series, and I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Thank you so much. What we've come to know from Sukuna and just how strong he is, we learned that strength in the Jujutsu world definitely comes from you kind of being selfish, having an ego, and being very full of yourself. And we can definitely see this with Sukuna. We see that he has the probably biggest ego in the series. He's definitely full of himself, and he prides everything on himself and his strength, but that is what makes him strong. Sukuna really has no allies in the entire series, and he doesn't really fight with others. We do know that he has Urami kind of at his side, but that's kind of a different dynamic. Sukuna himself fights everything himself. He doesn't have allies. He doesn't believe in friendship. He doesn't believe in anything. He only believes in one person, and that is himself. This is easily the core essence of what it kind of means to be a Jujutsu sorcerer, and we do know that this actually does translate into you kind of becoming stronger in these series. We've seen a bunch of different examples of this. We all remember the fight that Jogo had with Sukuna, and a lot of people like to downplay Jogo in these series, but Jogo is actually a very strong curse. It's just that he unfortunately had to have a fight with two of the strongest people in the series, so it just makes him look weaker, but he is honestly very strong. He shouldn't be kind of downplayed by anybody. Sukuna himself told Jogo that if he didn't cling on to the idea of kind of allying himself with other curses and trying to become the real humanity, as Jogo kind of put it, he would have definitely been able to ascend to greater heights in the series than what he was capable of doing at the time, and Sukuna is most likely the best person to make a testament for this. He is easily one of the strongest people in the series, so if he says that this is how you attain strength such as him, he's not lying. There is definitely a lot of merit to what he's saying, just in the way that Jujutsu sorcery works. It works off of negative emotions, and this easily fuels into the idea that you want to kind of be by yourself, be full of yourself, be arrogant. That was what makes you strong. That is what's going to make you push past others. You shouldn't really cling on to things such as friendship. I feel like one of the better examples in the series of Sukuna's ideology being correct in that you want to be alone, by yourself, arrogant, selfish, is the idea that Gojo most definitely never would have been caught inside of the prison realm if he didn't have people that he wanted to protect, and this is honestly very true. This is an easy to see statement. He was only even caught because he entered Shibuya to save his students and all of the other citizens there, but imagine if Gojo just didn't care at all. He would ascend to even greater heights. He never would have been caught. He never would have been in that predicament. If he didn't have friendship, if he didn't even know Geto at the time and made friends with him, he wouldn't have been caught in the prison realm at all. There would have been no way for that to have occurred. It's honestly almost scary just how powerful Gojo might have actually been if he kind of went down the same path as Sukuna, down the path of somebody that's very selfish and arrogant and only cares about themselves. That would definitely boost his strength up way higher if he didn't have allies. And having allies does make Gojo strong in a way. It does give him options. Other people can help him out, but at the same time, as an individual, if Gojo wanted to become the strongest there is, which he already is, but if he wanted to ascend to even greater heights, just imagine a Gojo even stronger than he is already. He might have went down a path of selfishness, down a path of not having allies, down a path of being by himself. That probably could have made him somebody that could even make Sukuna look like a lower level curse, somebody that could beat Sukuna that easily. Gojo might have been able to attain such a high level of strength, but Gojo definitely has ties to people. He has friendships, he has friends, he has people that he really cares about, and that does kind of make him vulnerable in the story. It really does, and we've seen this in the story. Another easy example of Sukuna's ideology being correct and somebody kind of being held back by their own personality and their own timidness is someone like Yuta. Yuta has all of the keys that he needs to become one of the strongest sorcerers in the series, and he already is very strong, but as I've said in my video before on Yuta and the fact that he most likely could potentially surpass people like even Gojo and Sukuna, is that only he himself is holding him back. If we say that Sukuna has a mindset of being very arrogant, selfish, full of himself, very, very fanatic, we can see that Yuta is honestly the complete opposite. Yuta is very timid, he's very scared. We do see that when he needs to fight, when he needs to protect people, he does get stronger, but at the same time, if Yuta had the mentality maturity that Sukuna has, I have no doubts in my mind that he would become one of the strongest people in the series easily, and he would be able to go on par with people such as Gojo and Sukuna. Yuta already has such monstrous strength, monstrous cursed energy reserves, everything. He can mimic curses. He has so many different things going for him, such as reverse curse techniques. He has a domain. He has all of this, yet for some reason, a lot of people still don't see him able to be on par with a lot of the different higher up members or villains and just people in general in the Road to Jujutsu Kaisen. And I don't really blame a lot of the readers for kind of seeing Yuta as not being on that level, because he really isn't right now. But until he kind of gets that mindset of wanting to become stronger, he's not ever going to attain that. And I do kind of want him to get to that level by the end of the manga. I want something to happen to him where he kind of throws away his timidness and awakens a different side of him and becomes way stronger, since he is my favorite character in the series. But I just wish that he was able to really utilize the amount of strength that he has. He's so strong and has so many things going for him, yet the only person really holding him back is himself. Some other examples of Sukuna being correct in his ideology are pertaining to Yuji himself. Right now in the manga, we've seen Yuji kind of at the lowest point that he has ever been in the series. He has not smiled in so long. We just don't see him do that anymore, and that is a testament to the fact that many different things have been taken from Yuji, and we can see that this is kind of breaking him down, making him a completely different person than he was back at the beginning of the story. And I do think this is going to translate into him becoming way stronger, and we've already seen an example of this during his fight with Sukuna initially. Before Maki entered the fight, we see that he got dropped into the building, and it sort of awakened something into him after seeing Angel supposedly pass away. We see him kind of get this insane boost of strength that let him fight with that, version of Sukuna right there. He was able to kind of not really fight on par, but he was able to really kind of do things that Sukuna was not expecting. He wasn't expecting Yuji to be able to withstand some attacks, actually hit him with attacks, and do a bunch of different things. And this is honestly a testament to Yuji kind of going down that darker path, being very negative right now in the story, and this is translating into him becoming stronger. So we know Sukuna's right. He's not lying when he says that you only really attain strength by kind of being by yourself, being selfish, and going through the story like that. And there's a bunch of different examples of this. A lot of people may be wondering what this kind of means for the ending of the series, or right now currently in the story, how this is going to play out, this idea that Sukuna has. And I do think that this means that certain people probably aren't going to win their fights. I think that Gojo may lose his fight with Sukuna, and that'll be kind of an eventful thing. I think it'll be a hard-fought battle, but maybe Gojo may lose. I say this because it seems that Gege is kind of setting up Yuji to become a way stronger person right now in the story. If you watch my previous video on the death paintings and the different abilities that Yuji may awaken through the death paintings, it seemed like a lot of them are direct counters to Sukuna's abilities. So I feel like Gege is actually setting up the ending of the story being a Sukuna versus Yuji event. This wouldn't be very far off, since if Gojo actually passes away in his fight with Sukuna, that is going to be almost the last person that Yuji really had at his side, and that is going to be the last person missing now. His mentor, one of the only few people that are still there from the beginning, and they're going to be gone. And I think this would send Yuji down the deep end completely and make him a different kind of person, along with the increases in power that he's going to get from eating all of the death paintings. It is going to make him a completely different breed, a complete monster, and I think this is going to let him actually contend with the King of Curses, and Yuji will really become the true King of Death, as we've kind of dubbed him in that last video that I made. The King of Death versus the King of Curses. Now that is going to definitely be a fight that I want to see at the end. I do also think that Gege is going to deliver on the fight of Yuta versus Kenjaku, and I think that is going to be very similar to how it's going to go with Sukuna versus Yuji. I think that he's going to see Gojo pass away. He's going to get very, very angry from this. This is going to completely set him off, since Gojo's one of the first people that kind of took a liking to him, took an interest, and showed him that he can be a completely different person and actually protect people. He's going to see that happen, and that's going to give him another kind of boost to be able to ascend to the levels of Kenjaku and maybe somehow find a way to defeat him. So I definitely do think that's going to happen, and something similar like that is going to occur at the end of the story. But I may be wrong, but this is just me kind of in my mind kind of putting things together. Let me know if you guys agreed with anything I said in this video. I do really believe that Gojo isn't going to be the one to defeat Sukuna, and it might actually be Yuji, and I feel like Gege really is kind of setting that up with the fact that he's going to be consuming all of the death paintings, because who else would Yuji really fight at the end of the story with this increased power other than Sukuna himself, the person that has kind of really put him down that path of darkness? So it just makes a lot more sense than it being Gojo taking him out, but I could be wrong. Just let me know if you guys agree with any of this in the comments. Also, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe, as it really does help me out, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by and watching my videos. Also, follow my socials in the top right corner. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.